How do you open your third eye? First, we have to realize there's only one eye. There is only one eye. We say it's the third eye because close this eye, you see out of this eye. You close this eye, then you see out of this eye. Right? When you close both of these eyes, you see out of the mind's eye. So we call that the third eye. This is why, the eye that sees your past, but also hears it too. Is there a third ear? Is there a third body? There's only one eye. The only true eye is the I am, that I am everything. That is the perspective. That is the great dimension of the mind, is to realize that I am. Everything else is a false perception of I. When you say, how do I open my third eye? So how do I see things from others' perspective? Is what you're saying. To open the third eye is to see things from a greater perspective. And your DNA is your genome, which is your astrological program, which is your I, which is your identification. And you see with your perspective. You perceive and see and feel, and all of your senses come through the one eye, which is your ego. Do you understand? There is only one eye. What does it mean to pick up your myself? What does it mean to pick up your ankh or your cross? In biblical terms, they say the cross. What does it mean to pick up your ankh? To pick up your ankh is to face your demons. To pick up your ankh is to face the persecution of proclaiming the kingdom of God. To pick up your cross or your ankh is to, number one, join the Christ consciousness. To renounce Babylon and all that it stands for, the cancer on the planet, to renounce it, no longer a part of this. We are showing you through these five sciences knowledge of self, which is the Christ consciousness. It's no way you can't come into the Christ consciousness through astrology, biology, quantum physics, melanin, and earthing. It's impossible. We do not need to use the Bible. We have given it to the lower self, and this is when you start teaching it. Once you have embodied the knowledge, you will start proclaiming the kingdom of God. The first thing you're going to realize when you're bearing your ankh or you're picking up your cross is that you're going to be denied because you already affiliate yourself with your Messiah, which is chief. They're going to hate you because you love me. That's off the break. You're not going to listen to what you have to say. This is picking up your ankh. Immediately you're denied. But wait, I'm about to show you the science. I haven't even shown you the 5 sciences. I don't care. He's homosexual. He's the nigga pedophile. All this shit. But what about the science, bro? Have you ever heard of a holographic universe? Have you ever heard this stuff? What about the science? This is the Christ consciousness without the Bible. There's nobody else on this plane that's giving you the Christ consciousness without the Bible. Point blank, period. So when you're bearing your ankh, the first thing you gotta do is get yourself right. Start feeding yourself the best food. What is our motto? I love my what? Self. Self spells C-E-L-L-F. Now, when you spell it like this, it's to put in the subconscious of people's mind that they are cells, and we are cells living inside our own body. We do not need the Bible. We can tell you straight out science. You're not going to find that nowhere else. We are cells living in our own body. Chief taught you that. You will be persecuted from this message because you are not of the world. You are in this world, but you are not cancer. One mind.
One soul.
Because my expectations is what causes me pain. I noticed that my expectations was the root of my problem. You know, make somebody own somebody. I don't want to own anybody no more. I just want to honor whoever I'm with. I don't want any unhealthy attachments. When you're with somebody, you should accept that person for who they are. I'm no longer attaching myself to things that I have no control over. I am living in the now. I'm accepting change. I'm no longer in control. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know my morals and my principles will not be broken for anything. We have to not have attachments to grow. We have to be able to be in relationships with a healthy amount of detachment there that allows you to move forward if need be and grow. Nothing can stop you from your expansion of your own mind and growth. Anything that hinders you, you must cut it off. And it's just been written all through text. This is something that must happen. This is not a message for everyone. This is a message for those that it reaches. Prepare yourself to let go of what you love the most. That is what death is. Death is transformation and growth and the releasing of attachments. You came here with nothing and you will leave with nothing. Everything is preparing you for death. Death is nothing more than a transformation. If you could think about death and in a moment you're thinking about everything that you have that's attachment. Oh wait, my child. Oh wait about it. I'm not done. I'm not really done doing this. I'm not doing that. And you be thinking about, if you think about death, immediately your attachments pop up. Truly contemplate about death. My wife, my husband, my family, what about them? And what about this? And what about that? This is the way you don't want to die. You do not want to transition with any attachments. You want to transition ready to adapt to the change and the evolution. Your heart must be light as a feather. Here. How's it going? We're gonna take our first question. Is the music on? What is the ego? A lot of times we have the ego mixed up. We think of the ego as what is called pride. Ego is our conscious mind, simply. So we think of the ego in our minds as something that protects us or protects our inner child. When the truth is, it is only our consciousness that has created something depending on what your astrological energy is. For instance, if you're a Leo or you're Aries, you might have a lot of pride. So what they call the ego would be your pride. You understand what I'm saying to you? So what's protecting you is your pride. Or if you were more of a water sign, you would go into a shell. You would shut down. And then you would say, oh, I was responding to my ego. You see what I'm saying? And we mix up the ego with arrogance. These are characteristics of the conscious mind. But the ego is simply your astrological program. It's impossible for you not to be in your ego. Your ego is your sense of self, right? What we mistaken is that the ego must be elevated to the highest, or the super ego, which is the Christ conscious, which is the I am everything. You know, so we have consciousness, which is your conscious mind, right? You have your conscious mind and you have your subconscious mind, right? So the conscious mind, who you think you are, whatever level that's on, whatever level that's vibrating on, that is your ego. You cannot not be your ego. There's nothing outside of the ego but the super ego. And that's still an ego. The super ego is God, the I am. So when people take a psychedelic and they say, oh, I killed my ego. If you killed your ego, how did you come back to it? Right? If I killed my ego, how then am I talking to you tonight? I had an ego death. Okay, so it resurrected. You know what I'm saying? You take ayahuasca and say, I killed my ego. What they're trying to say is, I killed separation. Because your conscious mind creates separation. But the super ego doesn't know separation. It is God. The separation is the conscious mind. That is who you are individually. So you are two things simultaneously. You are God, which is everything, which is the super ego, which we all must reach. And we're reaching that through our astrological program, and we'll talk about the astrological program later. But right now, we're all reaching that zenith of the super ego, which is the I am.
Messiah, what are generational curses? I love myself.
I love myself. To understand generational curses, we must understand past lives. You are your mother and father's relationship. You are your mother and father. That's who your past life is. Remember, you are a genetic code. Half of you, or your code, came out of your father, 23 chromosomes. Half of you came from your mother's egg, with 23 chromosomes. Those chromosomes came together, and you are the karma and the relationship of your mother and father. So when someone says your past life, do not be fooled. Your mother and father are your past life. Study them well. Honor your mother and father. They are your ancestor. You are the future them. They are the past you. Huh? That's all you can be. So you will inherit everything that they didn't learn in their lives. That's it. Whatever lessons that they didn't get to understand that they are God, which they are you as well, because you are they, and they are you. They are just your past lives. And at this point of your frequency that you have tapped into, they are your lowest self. There is no separation. You know how people talk about, oh, I know my past life. No, you don't. Bull crap. When people start talking about their past life, laugh at them in their face. Because we know what spirit is. Oh, that's just the physical. No, it ain't. The physical is the spiritual. You are a genetic code. From the way you look to the way you act is in your gene. All of your characteristics, everything about you, you are your mother and father put together. All of their shortcomings and upbringings are in you. And you are here to advance your mother and father. Expand further. The reincarnation. So what is a generational curse? A generational curse is the lessons that you didn't get, that your mom and dad don't understand, but you get it. Is homosexuality natural? Absolutely. Absolutely. Number one, we have to understand what sex is. What is God? Energy. What is life? Sex. Life is sex. It's a sacred exchange of energy. What is homosexuality? It's very natural. You see it all throughout nature. All of the species in nature, most of the species in nature, thousands of them. And one thing you don't see in nature is homophobia. That is what you do not see in nature. But homosexuality is very natural. Allow me to explain. When at one point when we were indigenous to the land, we understood homosexual energy. Homosexual energy was what we called gatekeepers. They were not homosexuals. We called them gatekeepers, two-spirited beings. Indigenous homosexuality has been in humanity since humanity was humanity. But why? Nature doesn't do anything without reason. Why is homosexual energy here is the question. What is homosexuality trying to tell us? Perhaps it is something that we are doing to summon these things to let us know we are out of balance. And nature has a way of always balancing itself. When we are out of calibration and in tune, the universe will use mutations to make up for what we lack, only to teach us that we are out of sync and out of balance with nature. Huh? So everything is natural. Everything is self. We must get in tune with our higher self or our true self, which is nature. Babylon is where we live against our own self. You see what I'm saying to you? So, what is this homosexual energy? What does it mean? Where does it come from? What is the meaning of it? We don't like it. We're uncomfortable with two men kissing each other. We're uncomfortable with two men having sex with each other. Yet we like when two women do. You see, this is subjective. When two women are together, oh, that looks good. That is accepted. That's not even considered homosexuality. When we say homosexuality as a culture, what are we talking about? So we know that this is, first of all, this is subjective. We just don't like it's uneasy for us to see two men to be together. But two women, that's hot. Pile them on. Pile all the women. That homosexuality with women is okay. That's okay. Two men? Ooh. Why? Why? Has anybody ever asked that? Why? We say Adam and Steve. God didn't make Adam and Steve. God made Adam and Eve. This is what we like to say. And if it doesn't procreate, then it's not natural. First of all is nature. Second of all, that God made Eve and Yvette. You damn sure like Eve and Yvette. We love Eve and Yvette, don't we? We don't say we don't like Steve and Adam. Adam and Steve. We don't like Adam and Steve, but we love Eve and Yvette. Have I been programmed? Have I been conditioned? If I'm against homosexuality because it is not natural, then why is it okay for two women to be together or 3 or 4 women to be together? So where does this energy come from? Why is it here? Why? We see it in animals. We see the behavior, the homosexual behavior in animals. All throughout nature, we see this behavior. Why does this behavior exist? Is the question we must ask. Why does it exist? Where does it come from? I will tell you. Okay, listen carefully. Whenever there is an imbalance between masculine or the woman in the tribe and the men in the tribe, if you are treating the woman bad, but they're not being treated equal, you will summon homosexual energy. So us oppressing woman is actually summoning homosexual spirit. Why? Because when the homosexual male comes, you ever notice that so-called homosexual men are more emotionally inclined and compassionately inclined, which allows them to excel in the group? They're wiser, they have higher IQs, they run your world. Why? Because they have higher IQs, they're very wise. Outside of the sexuality, they have a heightened IQ. So what happens is nature, epigenetically, brings something that will bring balance between the genders. So now this being is able to come up with solutions that give both sexes what they want, so that we can survive as a species. Now, does that make sense? This is what it means outside of the bedroom. If you didn't know. I love myself. How do I meditate? To meditate is to focus one's mind on a certain thing, on a certain thought. Meditation is what we call today is to sit still, to control your breathing, to bring yourself into your being, and to focus your mind by relaxation and breathing techniques. That's not gonna work for someone that has a lot of earth in their chart. They're gonna go to sleep. Someone that has fire in their chart are gonna get super bored with meditating. If you have a lot of fire in your chart, this form of meditating is going to drive you crazy, and you're gonna fail very hard. If you have a lot of fire in your chart, sitting still to meditate is going to drive you crazy. It's gonna be very difficult for you. Maybe someone with water can do it. This would be good for them. Fire signs need to exercise to meditate. They need to play a lot of music. They have to be active. This is their meditation. Fire needs to do this. This is how they think. They think with light. Do you understand what I'm saying? Meditation is different for every individual. You have to find the thing that makes your mind focus the best. It might be playing loud music. I used to love to drive in my car with loud music. Man, that was a meditation. It's like something about having loud music on that made me think and focus more. And when you're in that focus moment, thoughts just come through, and all your answers just come through. When you're in that moment, when you're painting, and you're doing some form of gift that you was given, and I'm gonna go into this, because your true meditation is in your gift. Whatever your gift is, whatever your talent is, you will find your true meditation. that's when you can focus. That's when all the answers are gonna come, when you're practicing your gift. If you are a singer, listening to music is your meditation. That's where you're gonna get all your ideas, when you sit alone and listen to music. Wherever your gift is where your ability to meditate through is. If you like painting, then you're gonna put painting on, you're gonna put music on, and you're gonna start painting, and then things are gonna come to you like, whoa, oh, that's how you meditate. It's in your gift that you meditate. This is when your mind can focus through your gift. Whatever you love to do, whether it's writing, you might be writing. And you ever been writing before, and you were all alone, and you were writing, and the craziest stuff coming to you, and you're writing it, and you're like, I cannot believe I'm getting this. Huh? You have to know yourself. Man, I'm meditating every day. No, what do you love to do? What do you love to do? Where does humanity come from? All is mental. We are a thought. Okay? When you are living your life, you were born in 99. From your observation, there seems to be a past or history. This is an illusion of the mind. There is no past. There is no future. All of this is scripted and will not exist once you do not observe it again. So your whole existence, your whole reality is just like a dream. The concept of melanated people will not be a thing when you leave here. What you truly are, once you know what that is, this experience will seem like, what the fuck was that? When you go back to the source of what you are, it is only then that you will know that that was a dream. What the hell was that? That was an experience. You are light. And you come. You are the mind. You are the mind. You are mental. All is mental. You are the mind. The mind gives you this reality. So we must catch it. All of the history you see is nothing more than a program that you live within. It's like a storyline. And you came in the storyline to get the lessons you need to get. I taught about the baby in the mother's womb. And the baby being asleep in the mother's womb, dreaming about its past life, which is its mother's life. It's very deep. I'm gonna say it again. The baby in the womb is dreaming of the life you're living. You are in your mind. You don't have a body. Do you understand me? When you're not observing this simulation and you go back to source, this simulation vanishes. It's a possibility. Me, you, everybody around you, all of your emotional ties and all of your things that you were doing, all of it, nothingness, doesn't exist. Just a possibility. Everything you're doing in your life right now, the only meaning for it is for your evolutional growth.
What is melanin?
Melanin is very interesting. Now let's just look at this from a very basic level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is a pigment. It ranges in color from pale yellow to reddish brown to blue black. it is in, as far as the body goes, every major organ of the body, and it has many, many different functions. Now, from a technological perspective, what melanin is, it is biological living light.
Living light.
That's correct. We have now a light source interacting and reacting upon itself.
How did you come to the conclusion that that was living light, biological living light?
Well, when you look at the properties of what it does, it is black melanin. Melanin that is blue-black actually contains and is able to energize itself and to hold on to the entire frequency of the electromagnetic spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum is nothing more than light. It consists, however, of the visual spectrum, which makes the rainbow of colors. It consists of cosmic waves, radio waves, laser, short-wave radio, long-wave radio, TV, ultrasound. All of these are part of the light spectrum. Melanin, pure black melanin, interacts with all of that by absorbing it and holding it into itself. The melanin absorbs the heat and dissipates it instead of actually allowing it to become a friction interaction where eventually combustion takes place. It prevents combustion. That is why we are able to be at the center of the earth, at the equator, in pure, intense sun, the temperature 110 degrees, and our skin will not blister, and our skin will basically not burn because of melanin.
So melanin, you would say, is like the depth of the universe.
Exactly. It is the universe in a microcosm when it is in your body, and it is a macrocosm when you look into outer space and when you look into a black hole. Biological living light.
What is a Messiah? The Messiah is the messenger of the Christ consciousness. The interpreter, translator, and the fulfiller of the words of God. Now, the Messiah is the messenger of God who comes when consciousness is coming to the golden age. The Messiah comes through the most broken people, the least of humanity. Arrives the messenger, so that the last shall be first and the first shall be last. So the Messiah would come to those that were the poorest of spirit. Not money, but spirit. Meaning that their connection to their own spirituality was dead. To the poor in spirit would be those that had no concern with their spirituality because they've been broken away. So the Messiah, being the messenger of the I am consciousness, will come through those people every single time in the cycle of consciousness. The Messiah comes to bring the most divine knowledge, the most high consciousness, and it transcends the current knowledge and the prophets before it. So therefore, the Messiah creates conflict, cognitive dissonance, and will be denied by his own people because they are broken. Welcome back to the Earth dimension. Life is an ascension process. To ascend means to expand your mind, to become more in this life process, you're giving tools to show you who you are in life. A lot of people don't know how to deal with changes, but life is change. It's a metamorphosis process. Since the day you was born, you've been changing. So as you start to expand your mind, there's obstacles that you have to overcome. It's your mind that you're trying to overcome. These things are nothing more than catalysts for you to level up. You're going through a maze, and you have to look at these things as obstacles, and people are gonna burn you. People will take the same lips they kissed your ass with and use those same lips to curse your name. This ain't nothing that ain't normal. This mean you leveling up. Good. I'm glad I sparked in your mind to talk shit about me. Because in the midst of you talking shit about me, hopefully you'll do something that I don't do. Maybe I made a mistake in some way and you peeped the mistake. Good. You don't make that mistake. But I'm a real mind. I'm a human making mistakes, leveling up. When you leveling up in consciousness as you ascend, you're gonna have people betray you. It is a part of the trademark of ascension, of metamorphosis. Say why to your mind. When you start to say why to your mind, you start to examine your attachments and say, is this something I need to be attaching myself to? Is this going to level me up by attaching myself to this thing, this person, this place, this job? Is this environment conducive to my travel, to my conscious expansion, my ascension process, my evolution? Am I growing here? Or is this keeping me stagnant? Once you say why to my mind, what's going to happen is you're going to see that people or these things, these catalysts in your life are set as obstacles. And it's funny because it be your loved ones, your so-called people you care about, that you're gonna have to let go. Don't fear letting go what no longer serves you. I'm telling you, let it go. Because when it's time for you to level up in life, the universe will take certain things out of your life because you no longer need it. You've passed the test. It's like being in Mario, brother. Playing Mario, brother. Playing a video game. Passing the motherfucking obstacles and you attached to the obstacle. You on a new level now, dude. You have to take the knowledge and apply it to get the wisdom. You see, we gotta let go. We gotta let go. It's gonna be new devils. You gotta expect it. Expect it. Peace to the gods and goddesses. Not the lesson, not the class. What I'm here to tell you is the outside is the inside. The external world is a symbolic carbon copy of the inside of you. We are inside of our body, and you are experiencing the carbon copy. There is gas, there is liquid, and then there's solid, which is ice. The unmanifest is gas. It's things that you cannot see. The liquid is the formulation or the vibration of this coming into a higher frequency. And then the solid is the full manifestation of the essence of the same thing of all things. So all spirit, we are in a spirit realm. It's just a carbon copy, symbolic of the unseen, which you would say the unmanifest. Okay? The external world is your internal world. You are walking around inside your minds. When someone says you need to go within, you can say you sound silly. Okay? Everything you need. And the answer to all your problems will be found in the external world. Now that's like opposite of what you've been taught. It's the truth. Let's look at your life from now. Everything you've learned about life has came from your external world. Point blank period. Even if you go to sleep or you're on a psychedelic and you go to another realm, it will be the external projection that will teach you. And then you'll be like, I went within and I meditated and I went to another realm. Yeah, in that realm, where did you learn it from? From the external world or the internal? There was no internal. It was always a projection. Isn't that crazy? So you close your eyes and then you say you go inside, but what you've done is open up another realm where you're looking at another projection. And you have a body there and you're walking around and you're talking and you're a figure. It's still a projection. So the external world is symbolic of the internal. If you want to understand who you are, you understand it through people, places, and things, circumstances. People are talking about knowing yourself. Well, we know who we are through others. So your external world is constantly showing you who you are. It is the gift, is the most plainest way to see who you are. There's no going within yourself to finding you. It's in you. Go seek within yourself. You hear people say, seek within yourself. Your world is you. Everything that you possess, all energies, people in any form that's in people, places, or things, all energies are reflections of your program to you. So your relationship. When you are in a relationship, the relationship shows you things about yourself you did not know. If you study astrology, where you find astrology? Externally. Where all knowledge is found? Where all knowledge come from? There is no external. You are in your mind. Peace reflection. Your soul is your S-O-L. Take the U out of soul and you get what? S-O-L. Soul. Soul means what? Sun. Sun. And you are per sun. Each one of you are a piece of the sun or are a sun or a solar system. You are a soul. Your soul is your mind. Your mind is your astrological program. Did you hear me? So your soul is the sun. Right? When creation took place, it says a big bang, boom, from the sun. Boom, and from the sun, many planets, moons come from the sun, the big bang. Each planet in the solar system is a spirit of the sun. The spirit is what means energy or a piece of the soul. You understand what I'm saying? Spirit means energy, piece of energy. Listen close. Your soul is your astrological program. That is your ego. So you see how that ego, mind, soul. See how it all becomes one now? That is your soul. You have thought. Let's say thought is your soul, right? And then you have what? Vibration. That comes from what? So if you have say the soul of the thought, of the soul is the thought. You're having a good thought. That vibration is the what of that thought? Spirit. The spirit of that thought. Soul being the source, which is your mind. And your mind has many what? Spirits. Vibration. From many what? Your mind consists of what? Thoughts. Those thoughts have what? Vibration. Those frequencies has vibrations. And each vibration gives you what? A spirit. An energy.
Messiah, where do thoughts come from?
Where do thoughts come from? It's a good question, that's deep. We have thoughts, right? Where do our thoughts come from? Essentially, thoughts come from nothing. Because thoughts don't truly exist. You cannot not think. This is a misconception that the new spiritual movement tells you. To stop all thoughts and not think of anything. That in itself is a thought. It's impossible not to think because you are a thought. To even observe your thoughts is a thought. To watch your thoughts is a thought. You understand? You cannot not think. Even when you become the oneness, you are a thought. In the beginning was the word, or the thought. And the thought was with God, and the thought was God. The same in the beginning with God, all things were made by thought. Without thought, nothing was made that was nothing was made that was made. So in Egyptology, it is stated that Nu, which was the primordial waters of Nu, which was nothing or Nu or none, nothing. From nothing came Atum. Atom created itself from nothing. Taking the nucleus with it, and the atom had the proton, which was atom, and from that came the electron, which was Eve. So in the beginning, there was just the infinite possibility of everything, the darkness, primordial waters of Nu. Nothing. Same as when you go to sleep. You go into Nu, and then voila. Through thought, reality appears. That's how you got here, you thought. Your whole life is a thought. How can you not think? You go into darkness. So the concept of understanding what is a thought, you must understand you. It all goes back to I. Where do thoughts come from? Where do you come from?
Messiah, what is that?
What is death? What is death? What is death? What is death? Death is life. Life is death. What is life? Life is constant transformation. Death is the movement from one frequency to another. We are constantly dying while we're living. You are more of who you are. So this is what death is. Death is the transformation of frequency. I use color as an example. If you are the color green, and you're becoming the color blue, this is what death is. You are consciousness. When you go to sleep at night, what happens to your consciousness? It goes into darkness. It transforms into another realm, plane, thought. Yet your body is laying in the bed, but you're up walking around. But who are you? Who are you? You see how the ego tags into death. Because you must know who you are to understand what death is. If you know your consciousness, then you know you can't die. You can only transform. If you know you are energy, you cannot die. You can only transform. Nothing is lost. All is what?
Transform.
God is what?
Energy.
Life is what?
Sex.
Sacred energy exchange. Life is a sacred energy exchange. And death is supposed to be what? A sacred energy exchange. You see? Transformation, sex, sacred energy exchange. Nothing is lost, all is transformed. Through our consciousness, all is mental. You see how it's all tied in? Death is life. Life is death. Life is constant transformation. Death is the movement from one frequency to another.